Greetings, fellow degens. Single hero PvP in Olden Era has been tickling my fancy lately. This has inspired me to make a series of guides focused on single hero in Exodus. It is the most played template, and I think that's because it is the most fun and balanced. I'll be documenting my journey from the starting intermediate level, which is 1k MMR, up until I reach my first goal of 2k MMR. My MMR as of this video is 1163. In these guides, I will be reviewing the closest game I played for the week, because these are the games where there is the most opportunity to learn. I am a fresh student of Olden Era. The primary goal of these videos will be to look at the strengths and weaknesses of my play without the time pressure that comes with playing live. I welcome all good faith comments, questions, and criticisms, as multiple perspectives accelerates the learning process. Let the training begin. So as we get into it, first off, I am a dungeon player. 90% of my games have been dungeon. The only time I don't play dungeon is when it gets banned, which doesn't happen very often. I'm always going to be banning Necro, and if someone else bans Necro, then I'm banning Schism. These are probably the two strongest factions, because they both get free army, which is actually a pretty strong mechanic, it turns out. What this ends up happening is a lot of times I end up playing Dungeon versus Temple. Temple is just the most played faction, I would say, definitely at this level. So at least having a basic understanding of Temple goes a long way. I've played them maybe 4 times, just enough to know their basics. But I'm a dungeon player. Now, as far as bans, I'm banning Kestrel, the crossbowman chick. I'm banning Mandall, the combat guy, and I'm banning Ister, the movement guy. I actually have started banning Pip instead of Ister lately, because Pip gets attributes. The thing that's in common between Pip, Kestrel, and Mandall is I think they're all very strong early, which means they have a really good chance of winning the first round. By banning these heroes, we help ourselves win the first round. I think winning the first round is very important. Sometimes people just leave after losing one round. So, but it puts you in the advantage. Now they have to catch up. And so I think Pip, Kestrel, and Mandall are the heroes to ban right now, because they are so strong early game, especially with small armies. As far as the hero I pick, it's Zakron the Great. Look at that drip. He reminds me of Krogan from Mass Effect, and I just love that. His specialty is he deals plus 10% damage with spells, plus another 1% for every 2 hero levels, which means in the first 2 fights, he's going to have probably around 15% bonus and 20% bonus, roughly, which is pretty good. And I've always been a destruction type player. Spell damage, big spells. That's just the way I like to play, so when I saw this guy, he fits my play style. I don't think he's necessarily the strongest. I don't think Primal is necessarily the strongest, but I think they are solid. I think they're at least better than 50% of the other heroes. And because Zakron is not like um, very clearly OP, he isn't banned very often. I think out of 20 games, he's been banned twice. So another thing about him is he starts with Firewall. So knowing the tricks, the best ways to use Firewall is very important, especially in the first 5-6 levels when you're going to heavily rely on it. And obviously I'll talk about those in the video, but this is the setup for this game. As we start into this, I want to say my 4 main goals right now that I feel are going to get me to at least 1500 MMR. That is, I want to build Hydras in my first city and Medusas in my second city by the first week. So I have 2 weeks worth for the first fight. I want to get my third city and all my resources in my biome, which I feel sets me up for the second fight to do well economically, to be able to build army. I want to get my hero to level 10, and hopefully we have Avatar and Primal. Those are sort of the key skills I'm looking for. And we want to have Fireball. Fireball is such a good spell to have in the first fight, especially if we have a level 4. It can just win the fight by itself in a lot of cases. You know, you got someone bunched up in the corner like a temple player, you fireball them. I've won at least 3 games where I fireballed someone and then they left the game. So it's very strong, and it really feels bad when you get fireballed. So very demoralizing for them. So those are our goals. I feel like meeting these 4 goals, we're going to win most of the time, at least to 1500 MMR. So let's see how I did in those regards. So the first thing I do every time I play is I'm going to buy out Lightning Bolt. I'm going to buy the Mage Guild in my first city and get Lightning Bolt. It's extremely strong spell for the first fights. It's what we're going to heavily rely on. We also have Firewall, so that is also a very good spell in certain cases. With these 2 spells, we want to take fights. On the first day, ideally, we're looking for fights to use our mana. We want to use that resource, and the plan is to go back to base on the first turn. That way we can refresh our mana and go out the second day sort of ready to actually go on into the world. You can see I'm going off the path here immediately. It's because I already have in my mind that I want to go back to the city on the first day so that I can refresh my mana. So if I travel up the path to, you know, start collecting stuff, when I port back to my city, I'm basically going to have to re-walk that path. So I don't really want to do that. So I go off-road a lot of times immediately in the beginning because I know I'm not going to re-walk the path. So on the first skill, I take 3 temp mana. One of the strongest things, ideally probably the first thing I want to get in a lot of cases. It just adds a lot of sustain. Lightning Bolt is 6 mana, so casting this or using spell power and then switching over basically makes lightning bolt 3 mana cast. So you can last out in the wild, quite a bit. Um, when lightning bolt is only 3 mana, and we we don't really want to use all of our mana pool in a single fight. We need to last a little bit of time, because the less mana we have, the worse fights we're able to take. We're not able to take strong fights. Sometimes we just have to skip fights because we don't have mana. So we're very reliant on our mana. So the 3 temporary mana every time you use stance is extremely good. I think the most important thing to get for the first level, because it just lets you sustain. Without it, it's very hard to sustain. So now I'm just gathering up my wood and ore. So I'm going towards my second base here. Because I saw the wood, the second wood, and the two ore, but I'm not sure this is. I'm already conflicted about doing this. I kind of feel like it's better for me to go for the second city sort of straight out of the gate. Although I do want to get at least 1 wood and ore within the first couple days. Otherwise, we just don't have enough. Especially wood. We use a lot of wood early. Like in the first 3-4 days, building up economy and the first buildings. But we need ore, a lot of ore, later in the week. Especially for the labyrinths, which both take 10 ore. Or we want to build it in 2 cities. So we get Avatar here. I think that's like an insta get. It's basically one of the key skills we're looking for. The other skill we would insta take is Primal. If it was between Avatar and Primal, I would probably take Primal, even though Avatar is probably the stronger thing. Primal has a lot lower chance of get. So, if I see Primal, I want to take it because it's a lower chance. And I still want it. I'm going to get offered Avatar probably a couple times by level 10. Sometimes you don't get it offered at all by level 10, but chances are you're going to get offered it. It has a 6% chance versus Primal, which has a 2% chance. So take Primal if you get it. I have a lot more games where I don't ever get Primal versus Avatar. And we want both. Primal, we want the skill levels. Because spell levels. Because spell levels are very important. For all spells, really. But especially damage. It matters a lot because it adds to the instant impact that you have on the fight. We need to do a lot at once. So I'm doing this guard here. I kind of have a lot of infiltrators and trogs. And so we bought a lot. We bought from both cities, which means we used a lot of money. Now we need to actually refresh. We need to trade up on these. We need to get a return on our investment, and this is the best way. We know we're gonna lose here, but this one is not too hard. And we're going to get more than we pay here. So we'll see what we actually get in the end. Also, because we have firewall, we do have to think carefully because we rely heavily on firewall in the early game. And firewall is much better when they have to walk all the way across the map. In these surrounded situations, these guarded camps, firewall is basically useless. You don't really ever get a chance to use it. Like on longer maps, firewall, you can abuse the terrain and force them through bottlenecks and such like that. On this, they're on you immediately. So firewall is basically not good. But we had a lot of army. We also had avatar, so I think it's good to do that guard. But I do think a lot about, or want to carefully consider guarded camps. Especially like as a magic user in general, I think. But especially as one using firewall. And having a very weak army. We have to think carefully. But I thought in that case, since I got the infiltrators or the second town, and also it was a relatively easy guarded camp. It could have been a lot harder, I think. It felt like easier than usual. If it was a lot harder, I might have not even done it. But I'm not sure. So in this case, here's an example where firewall could be good. Because the terrain is, kind of broken up. It is hard to get. There are, like, I'm looking for places where they have to go through to use the firewall. And like on the upper edge, I don't know if I like the upper edge because only one guy is going to walk through. I kind of want to put firewall somewhere in the middle where multiple guys will walk through the same one. If we get 3 guys to walk through the same firewall, then highly efficient. If they only walk through once, then it's okay, but it's not the best. So I do this because I figure the guy on the top, he doesn't do, neither one of these guys do what I expect them to do, which is run right through and hit my guy. The firewall is pretty horrible there, obviously. Not a single person ran through it. So, understanding what the AI is going to do is very important for firewall. And the reason they didn't go through the firewall there is because what they want to do, what the AI wants to do, is they want to advance as far as they can while still hitting a creep. So if they had gone for my avatar, they would have just stuck short. They're not going to just attack the closest thing a lot of times. They're going to attack the thing that's closest to our side if they can. And since they could reach my actual clump, they just ignored my avatar. And then the guys on the bottom, I wasn't really targeting them. So basically the guys that I was targeting with firewall, they just said, no, thanks. So waste of 12 mana there, which we only have 50, so not a lot of room there. I'm going to take thaumaturgy here Um, I do think it's close about whether I take the Thaumaturgy or the Expert Triumvirate there, because we do get the +2 spell power from the stance and the +1 initiative, which sub-skill, which I think is very strong. But I take Thaumaturgy here because I have Avatar, so I can cast a spell and cast Avatar in the first round. If I didn't have a second spell, free spell to cast, which the other free spell we take is Magic Missile or Magic Arrow. But since we have Summon Avatar and we have an actual spell that we want to cast for free as our second spell, then that's why I took Thaumaturgy here. See, that was a harder one. I'm going to lose a lot if I do that one. Those have stacks of 20, whereas the other one had 12. If I had to do that one first, I think I probably would lose too much. I would have probably lost almost everything. I wouldn't have died completely, but I would be very low on stuff. Now I'm starting to get strong here. The real strength is being able to, if we can use the lightning bolts every round, 3 mana lightning bolts every round. We summon our avatar the first round, and then the rest of the rounds we can use Magic Missile as our second spell. We're using 3 mana a round, and we are extremely strong. We're not fighting our army. A lot of times we're going to kill what we're going against without even our army needing to engage. I think this firewall is unnecessary, at least for now. I also don't think I should have attacked from there. With my avatar, I should have moved farther back and attacked the 41 in the back, so that he was forced to spend another turn in the back. I think this guy, I can already tell this 10 guy is going to go around, because I think he's going to want to move up to... Oh, he didn't. I thought he might move up. I guess he's going to move left first. They tend to move sideways first, and then in diagonals. So he wanted to go to that square behind my Trog, so he had to go left first. So I don't think I needed the firewall, but it was very good there. They all ran through it. So it definitely made it easier, but it is still 12 mana, or 9 if you count the Triumvirate, the free 3 mana, which is a lot. But we don't have second wind yet, and that's where it becomes even more important, I would say, because we really want to use like all our mana on most of our mana second winding, so we can move around the map more. That was kind of... Oh, I moved forward so that I could cast Avatar closer, and I just got lucky with morale. I was moving closer to... so that I could cast my Avatar. This is a pretty easy fight from here. These 22 guys should not do anything to me. Yeah, I just moved back with my Minotaur. I can kill these guys from range, no problem. Oh, I did actually swing on him. Which, there's no reason, I don't need to do that. I did it to save time, I guess. I can just run away. Oh, I killed him. I didn't lose anything, but that swing was unnecessary. I took scouting here. That's just a mistake. I do not think scouting is as good as I did, at least in this moment. In this moment, I was thinking scouting or logistics are kind of like, they're not exactly equal. I mean, scouting can have its use cases because it lets you make better decisions about how you want to move around, whereas logistics just helps you move around. And I also want, the reason I'm choosing between those two is because I do want to train penalty subskill reduction for the desert, so both of those skills have it. I don't think I should have taken scouting though. I don't remember what my other choice was, but as I see myself taking scouting here, I don't think it's nearly as good as I did in this game at the time. I think it's okay, like if you get it like as you're stuck with it, like if this is my choice on my 6th, 7th, or 8th skill, I wouldn't think, oh, my game's over. But choosing it this early, before I have, say, primal, other better skills like defense, logistics is better, I think. It's just I'm taking up a skill slot that's gonna take upgrades, and I think, especially because I think Magic really needs to think a lot about their skills early. Maybe more so than I'm not. That's the way I feel. I don't know that that's actually true. But I think it's really important that you go into the first fight with the right skills. It makes such a big difference. I mean, by the time you get into the second fight, you're both going to be pretty much, you're going to have all your skills. But in the first fight, your mix of skills is highly important. Scouting does nothing in the first fight. Even logistics, even if that was logistics that I got offered there, I don't know that I would take it. So, just because it doesn't really help me in the first fight, and we want to win the first fight. It is better to get things like logistics or insight early, and so you feel like I want to get these skills early, but I just feel like unless you're forced to take them, don't take them. We want primal. We want summon avatar. We also want ideally like defense or battle magic, because probably if I put defense or battle magic, those are sort of my combat skill. I have a combat skill slot, and I'll take either combat magic or defense. I think defense is probably overall better, but I also think battle magic could be for magic heroes, it can be really close to the same, especially if you get a high spell power. I mean, you're gonna get added attack and defense. So we end up getting the third city here. Um, right to get those by day 5 or 6. We're on day 7 now. It's a little late, I would say, probably. A little slow. I'm also level 6, so I feel that's also a little slow. I feel like a fairly simple way to think about it is for the first fight, or really for both fights, or any fight, you should get about a level a day. We're level 6 on day 7, so we're behind. When you fight on day 10, if you're level 10, then that's good. It's solid. But it's not looking good for us. There's still time for us to get up to level 10 for sure. Especially if going for this box down here by the griffins. Because now that's what we're looking for. We're looking for like the best battles that we can take before we actually take the fight. You can see I'm in the game. I am really not sure what I should do. I don't really like going for the guard here because my army is kind of weak, and also these surrounded fights are not the best. I feel like I should be going for the box behind the griffin. To me, I think that's more apparent now, but in this moment I did not feel good about it, or I did not really consider it, or I felt like it might take too much. Maybe I felt my army was a little weak here. So I take a fight that's probably not the best for me. We do have Avatar, it's only basic though, so it's not really the best. If it was expert, we would completely destroy this. I don't know if Avatar there is correct. I probably want to put the Avatar on the 4 here. I guess on the bloated guy. So that I could hit with my Trogs. I could just block this Lich with this one Trog. That's what I should be doing. I'm fine with moving that one over to the 36 guy. That makes him, he's going to stay in his corner. We just want him to stay over there. Yeah, I think I should have put the Avatar down in the bottom left on the succubus? Concubus? The octopus lady. Or on the bloated guy. Because obviously I wasn't able to kill him and he did some damage. That might actually have been better. Although I don't remember if he went first. My Avatar went first. If he didn't go first, then it doesn't really matter. But I definitely think I should not have put the Avatar on the Lich. That doesn't make sense. That's what the Trogs are for, just to block. That infiltrator going in on the guy is really like unnecessary. Like I'm gonna kill that guy, no problem. So all I'm doing is risking losing guys. It ended up being Okay, I could have done better in that fight for sure. I think the reason I ended up going this way is just because I wanted to get the crystals. I'm training to get the Medusas. Yeah, see, I should have got these crystals on the way up. When I was going up and going, I guess I didn't go this way because I, the other time I went up here was to go for the wooden ore. But I really should have gone off to the side. Because these guys are also an easy fight. Um, so since I was going up that way, I should have just done it. Even though it wasn't ideal. Like, it would have forced me to backtrack a little bit. But I think if I was going that way, I should have just done it then. And I could have done it then. It would have been good XP. These guys are not hard. You just have to be a little bit careful because the guys that come out, they can hit hard. Especially early. But at this point, it should not be too hard. I should move the avatar maybe like... Oh, I moved him in here. I guess he's strong enough. But I should definitely keep him on their side so that when these ghouls come out, they automatically attack the avatar and just stay away from my group. So I do feel that I got my resources probably a day slow, a day or two slow. I think you're getting all of the resources in the third city most of the time is doable by day 5. Sometimes day 6 if things are like really out of place or in weird spots. This one was not too far out into a weird spot. I would have had to detour a little bit to get it. But it was not that way. It was more of a detour to do it when I just did it. Or it was more costly. Because I should have done the Griffin box instead of having to do that. Because the Griffin box is worth a lot more. And now I'm also buying a Mage Guild here because I feel like I'm out of mana. I feel like if I don't do that, I'm not... Actually, it doesn't make much sense for me to buy that Mage Guild now that I'm... Because it doesn't give me mana anyway. So, I don't like buying Mage Guild there. But I do think I got... I met the goal of having Hydras and Medusas in... Having Hydras at the first city and Medusas in the second. We did get at least that. We got the resources a little bit slow, I would say. And it also looks like I'm probably not going to get level 10. My stats are not great. I do have, I have 0 attack and 3 defense, not great. The 9 power is good, but that's mostly from my triumvirate skill. So it's really doing all the work there. I don't know that I needed to use any mana there. Oh, I guess it was good there. It actually saved him. Looks like I'm trying to buy time with my 1 stacks here. I just want to move them in and try and force them to go backwards. They're stacking up for my Dusas, which is good. Yeah, see, I don't know if it even was a big deal that my avatar died in one extra hit. I don't know that it even is relevant. Also, these guys were at least one more turn away from coming in, so I did not need to go out and meet them there. That was kind of like unnecessarily endangering myself, which I seem to enjoy doing in this game. I have been doing that a lot less lately because I realize every now and then you're getting hit unnecessarily, losing guys for no reason. I think it's just because I'm trying to speed up the fights, but I have to speed it up in a different way, not a way that costs me actual guys. Here's another case where, I mean, I think it's good that I take this fight, this fine fight, but because I'm looking for artifacts, some stats. But ideally with these units or with my spells, I get some time. The ghosts are really fast though. And they always go for infiltrators, which are weak. Lost 26 trogs and 5 triumvirate guys there. Or infiltrator, sorry. I took triumvirate. I mean, it's still worth it. And I guess I kind of had to do it because I chose this path to get my 2 guards over here that were stacked up. I still think I think I was just too scared of the griffins, but I think I'm too over scared. I think the box is the best thing that I can get right now. I think what I'm doing now is good, but I think the box is better. Although I am getting 2 places over here. I did get the artifacts, the +2 defense helmet, which is useful. I forget which other artifact I got, but the +2 defense one stuck out to me. We really like defense as magic heroes because we want to buy time. Defense buys time for us to cast spells. So, especially in the combat we have with the opponent, defense buys us time to cast spells. So we do like defense. Yeah, so I guess it's okay. It's not the absolute worst thing we could have done with our turn 8 or day 8. But I'm not satisfied that that was the best thing we could have done. I think what I was thinking here is I wanted to wait for the new week before I tried to get the box. I was just too scared. I have lost at least a handful of games just attacking something and I die, especially going for boxes. So I think there's a bit of fear in me at the time. Now I'm looking for the best thing for me to do. The other thing is I could get this, these camps along the way now, which are these guarded camps. So I get Palace 3 here. I don't know that it's that good. Something I have been paying attention to, especially as the week starts, is making sure I have enough money to buy all of my army. But I guess I've bought as much as I'm going to get. Because I'm not going to go back to my second city. I think I just ported, so I can't port again. Back to my second city here, so I think I'm just like, I bought all my army, so now I can spend all my money. If that's what I was thinking, then, and that's what actually is happening, then that's okay. But I think, if it costs me army here, then I should not have done that. I think especially on week 2, the first 2 days, I'm usually spending a lot less money on buildings. I want to make sure I buy out all my army units I can. The only army I think about not buying really is my infiltrators. Mostly because, as you can see, we have 0 attack. Oh, that was a terrible move. Moved right into range of that double attacker. Destroyed me. Probably could have done this fight a lot better. Well, I don't think I need to lose that those infiltrators at all. But it does get us to level 9, so it's still worth it. I finally get Magic Arrow. I usually get that pretty early. Now it's kind of like, do I even really need it? I probably could have taken the plus 10% damage there. Since I already have Avatar. If I didn't have Avatar, it's a good spell, I think. To help sustain, it costs no mana. And when mana is really tight, then Magic Arrow is strong, I think. In fact, I rely heavily on it in the first few levels. If that's like my first choice is upgrading sorcery, I'm gonna take Magic Arrow because it is really good for the first, I don't know, for the first 5 levels, and probably good for the second, for up to 10. I mean, it still does chip damage over time, so I do think that Magic Arrow, even in late game, is okay as something to do, because you still don't want to like burn, because I'm probably starting off with like a fireball, which is 12 mana. I don't want to use another spell that's like, you know, gonna cost me 20 mana. You drain through mana real quick. The thing that's gonna drain a lot of our mana later game is we want to use our mana on Second Wind, on Dimension Door. So in the fights, we want to use as little mana as we can while also preserving our army. So Magic Arrow is still good for that. I mean, it still kills a decent amount when our spell power is high. We have 15 spell power, so it is still, I mean, I guess I'll probably use it here, so we'll see how much it does at level 9. And whether that's relevant. I think I should have put my avatar, though. I should have put Oh, it's advanced, so I couldn't put it all the way across the map. So it's killing 5 here, which is pretty good. It's like 2 hydras worth of damage for free, which is useful. Not one guy died for nothing. I should have just long reach there. Just wanted to make sure I don't. Yeah, see, Magic Arrow is going to save me from getting hit. Oh, the second guy didn't even hit me, so. Magic Arrow probably saved me 2 trogs there. Primal Magic, very good to see. Especially right before this fight's coming up. We did get level 10. And 10,000 gold. Now it would have been safe to buy the Palace 3 for sure. But I think before I got the money, I should not have bought it. Yeah, so I don't know what I have in Town 2. At least, oh, never mind. I definitely bought the Medusas. I could have gone to Town 2 there, though. And bought whatever I had, because I had plenty of money. So, I'm missing some army here, I think, that I could have probably had. So, just gonna pause a sec. So he has the 138 stack of swords. Tier 2 guard captains. The double attackers, those are concerning. The 50 griffins are more tanky, but they will get to me fast. So it's probably one I'm going to have to fight first. Sort of melee, so I should be preparing for that. The guard captain should take... He's actually scarier, I would say. Especially since this is the guard captain hero, so that's 138 stack is a lot. But I have at least probably the first turn he's probably not going to do anything, but he can get to me if he has haste. He can get to me in the second turn, so I probably ignore him for the first turn. What I want to kill first is the archers with my spells, because those are going to be, I mean, the Ostingers are the double shot they're glass cannons, so they have low life. You kill a lot with spells, but they do a lot of damage, so we want to take them out first. Let's see how I actually played it, because I don't remember exactly. Hopefully I go for the Ostingers first. He early started them. Now, hopefully I cast Avatar on... I think here I should have casted Avatar immediately on top of the Ostingers. Even though the guard captain is probably going to turn around and kill him the next turn. One, it prevents the shot, the double shot, at least for now, on the Ossinger. Actually, if I put him in the tile to the right of the Ossinger, when his guard captain comes up, he might clump next to the Ossinger, and my Medusa can take advantage of that, even though I only have 1 attack, so that probably is not very relevant. But the important thing is, if the guard captain does go up there to help, that's at least one turn he's going away. And then one turn he has to run back. He doesn't quite have to do a full turn. It's like half a turn worth of movement to come back. But that's 1.5 turns of movement. The guard captain, I would say the scariest damage on here, goes away. So, the fact that I didn't do that immediately was, I don't think I should have done that. At least now I would say, at this time, I think I've thought about it more, and I think having the guard captain go back, even if he kills the avatar, only 9 lost there, but that could have been nothing, because he would have waited. Now, I don't know. Let's see. Here's the thing. I've killed now 4 stacks. That's another thing. If I make him go back to the guard, makes the guard captains go back, that's another turn. Because now that I've killed these Sun's Guard, his stats have gone up, so I need to wait for that to go away, ideally, to fight. Because I used the fireball and cleared them all out, I should have definitely used the avatar to buy me time so that I let the stack run out, or the buff from killing all these 1 stacks. I should have bought myself time. I didn't do that. Now he can just march forward. There's no reason for him to not to. Although I guess if I do it now, he still has to come back. It's just that I could have prevented the shot, the initial shot sooner, so my guys could have got more damage. My dancers. So now I just want to threaten the Ossingers. See, now he just comes in. Right? Now his guard captain is advancing. Even if I build the avatar in the back. Oh, I didn't even build the avatar. I didn't build my avatar on the first turn, which I don't get it. That's just a mistake. I don't see how... I don't know if I even casted a second spell. Yeah, that's just a huge mistake. I think I should start killing these guard captains. Yep, that's correct, I think. Because these are the highest damage per... They have high damage and low life. So spells are most important on these guard captains now. The Griffins, I mean, they have more life. They aren't as scary offensive-wise. They're more tanky and speedy, so they can't get on top of me. I will say, because the guard captain is down here, that he can't help his Ossingers, and they're just gonna die. But I think he's doing the right thing. He adds the guide. That guy is a beefy boy. So now I just need to, like, make a wall here. Fortunately, I remember this. I made it so that my Hydra could not attack here. So now he's just like a glorified meat shield, which you want to attack with Hydras every round because they have no counter attack on them. They have Swift Strike, so this is a gross morale. This one's gonna hurt. He blesses. He only kills one. But this is the scary part. This so I remember I kept casting Despair. I did not even know that. I mean, I didn't know jack about Temple really when I played this match. I did not know he could dispel debuffs. I did not know Temple could do that. So I was casting these DOTs on them, which kept getting debuffed. So it's good to know that generally speaking, single target debuff magic, I don't think it's very good against Temple. I mean, I guess you could test to see if they even have that skill by casting a debuff once and seeing if they purge it. But I think I maybe should have used Umbral Grip there because that would have immediately taken his life away. I think I just don't really know what I'm doing here down in the corner. It feels like I'm just kind of like jammed in here. But in the top left, now I'm just chilling up here. My thought now is just buy time and use my spells to wear him down. He's on the complete opposite side of the map. And he has to come kill my Minotaurs eventually. So I'm just going to keep blasting spells. It might even make sense to do defense here, I'm not sure. He's got 12 attack, 16 defense on these guys. But they're still only 12 health. So spells are still very good against them, but I don't really want to fight them. They're just so strong. So I'm basically not attacking. I'm running. I'm buying time now. There's no reason for me to fight him. He's just gonna mop me up. So force him to do the attacking. Force him to use the turrets. He's only got 2 units. So that's not a lot of focus he's gonna be generating. I didn't see if he debuffed. I don't know why I'm not casting Fireball here. That was a mistake. I should have just cast Fireball there. If I cast Fireball on the guard captain, I'm going to kill like 20. And then all he's got left is the Griffins. Or he's getting pretty low. I should have used... I am already low on mana, so after I use the Fireball, I might not want to use a second spell. I might want to use Magic Arrow. Because it's still going to be probably another 2-3 rounds at least. And I'm going to get 3 mana back every round. So I have like 40 mana to use. So it is a lot of mana to use yeah, see, I should be using Fireball here. I don't know why I'm not using Fireball. I also had my avatar back. Oh, I actually think you could get an attack and then summon avatar and then get a second attack in this turn. I think you can do that. I didn't know that here, but I'm pretty sure you can do that. So I could have got 2 avatar attacks here, which would have been better than using magic arrow. I also probably should be using fireball here. It's pretty close. His heroic strike is the most threatening thing to me. Yeah, see, I'm casting it here. Why would I not I'm pretty sure it's more damage than lightning bolt. I think I'm trying to be mana efficient here more than I need to be. I think it's kind of like muscle memory. These guys could be dead if I used um this is funny. So actually extremely close. All I have left is 5 Minotaurs. Spells carried me. I have made lots of mistakes there too. So we got one in the bag. Now we're just trying to close it out. For fight 2, I think probably to get 1500. These are sort of my goals that I have for fight 2. I want to have hydras in both my starting dungeon cities that I have right now, and I want to have forts, fully forts in them, so that they have double population growth. That's sort of my loose goal. Just want to get 2 weeks worth of all my units except dragons. Dragons are very expensive, and so I do feel like for week 2 it's hard to make them work. You have to pay 17 grand just for um, the building itself, and then you're gonna get like maybe a handful of dragons. It's just a lot of investment for not a lot of payout in week 2. So I think just adding the hydras to the second city and having them have 3rd level forts is sort of the best value for investment. And then any other city that we get, I'm just gonna turn it into like a economic city to support these 2 main cities being able to handle that kind of army, and also any other money you have to pay for stats and things like this. So that's sort of what we want to build in our cities. We want to get at least the 4th and 5th city, ideally, I would say. Or I would say, ideally, we would also have the desert city. But I don't think that's really maybe necessary at this level. I think it's probably good enough to get the 4th and 5th city, and that's probably enough to be able to get ahead. So that's sort of my current guideline. I want to get hero to level 20. That should be solid for at this level. And I want to get chain lightning ideally. It's a very powerful spell in the second fight. If we can't get chain lightning because of resources, or just running out of time, which is usually the problem, then we want to have at least Stone Fangs. That spell is pretty good, especially the best part about it is that you get to target any, if it's upgraded, 4 targets, and they can be anywhere. The downside of Chain Lightning is you need units to be clumped, which sometimes that just doesn't happen. So Stone Fangs always can hit 4 targets. So that is what it's good at, and so having at least that spell gives us some, it's basically like 3 lightning bolts. if you have 4 targets. So basically the same amount of damage, roughly. So those are our goals. Let's see how we do. So we get our stone fangs right away. That surprises even me. I guess that since I can, why not? I do have primal at this point, so I guess that makes sense. And I think it's pretty damn strong, especially for trying to just get out of this biome. It's gonna be, I mean, Stone Fangs is way above the pay grade of most of this stuff in this biome, so I'm definitely well equipped. Also, another nice thing about Stone Fangs is it's very good against the surrounded groups, or the, I don't know, the guarded places, the dungeons, because things are all spread out around the map, and Stone Fangs doesn't care. So it's very good for those. It greatly improves our ability to take those out. I've tried lots of different things with red dragons to try to see what is the best way to minimize losses. I can tell, though, if I don't kill him here, I don't think moving up my Minotaur is the right play. That's definitely not right. Yeah, they're basically always going to go for the Trogs. That's what they always do. So all I did with the Minotaur moving him up was I lost 2 Minotaurs for free. I did not need to do that. Unless you could kill, the only way you can avoid damage on that is if you kill him with Avatar Enraged and your Heroic Strike before he even moves. If he gets 1 turn off, he's going to go for the Trogs. So just let him go for the Trogs, lose some Trogs, and then you have a 1 stack, take his next attack, his retaliation, and then you use the rest of your team to kill him. That should be enough. If you can't do it in 2 turns, well, even if it took 3 turns, it's probably still worth it. But definitely for 2 turns, it's worth it. I mean, maybe even for 4 turns, it's worth it. I'm not sure. I haven't done that calculation. But definitely for 2 turns, it is. Against these, I'm hiding these, but I actually don't think these are... I'm hiding my Minotaur and my Hydra from these, but I actually don't think these are the ones that kill automatically. I think I just see these and I get scared of my Hydra is getting killed. But I think these are not the ones that I'm worried about. I think the ones that always kill 1 are purple. That's how I remember them now. They're the purple ones. The purple ones I don't like. So we take our... I don't know if that's really necessary for me to do. They're going to do that move no matter what. So all I'm really doing there is giving them free Trogs. I guess I'm leading them into the same path, so I do get a... I do clump them at least, so maybe that's of some use. But I probably only need 1 Trog for that. I don't know. So now that we have second wind, we primarily want to conserve our mana we do want to conserve our mana and use our mana for second wind. So I wasn't really thinking about this at the time of playing this, I would say, as much as I do now. And the reason I started thinking about it is because I'm running out of mana after 2 fights. It feels like, and I feel like I already want to go back to base to get full mana. And it's because I'm, dropping fireballs on 2 little creeps, which I probably don't need to do, especially if I remember right. One of those had just 1 unit on it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I think probably a lightning bolt and a lightning bolt would have definitely, taken out one of them basically, and maybe I just absorb. I just absorb the hit from one of them, and that's okay. Because if I run out of mana, I just I can't use second wind. I could still fight, but I can't use second wind without mana. So in combat is where I can sort of do the most to conserve my mana. I can't do that with second wind, except to not use it. Second wind is going to just suck up our mana, so we should use combat to play combat as efficiently as possible. I think I should be hitting the ghosts there. The ghosts are going to actually come towards me. These slow guys, these guys are very slow. They're going to take forever to get to me. I guess I was hitting these guys with ranged. See, that was unnecessary. I should use Heroic Strike on the 7. Oh, I'm killing that with my... I should use something to kill this 3. I don't think I need to use Lightning Bolt there. I mean, as you can see, like, they're killed all the way across on the right side of the map. I'm using mana to kill them too fast. Faster than I need to. I think it's fine to use a lightning bolt in the beginning on a ghost stack. That's going to cost me 3 mana. And then I summon Avatar, and that's all the mana I should need to use. I can wait every 2 rounds. I can cast a lightning bolt free, because I will have gained 3 mana twice. So if I cast a lightning bolt every 2 rounds, it's free. It's only when I cast it every round that it's costing me 3 apiece, or at the very beginning, because I've only built up 3 mana. Oh, he goes for the trucks. Yeah, see, unless I kill it the first round, you're just gonna lose some trucks. And you accept, hey, I'm gonna lose 12, 14 trucks. What's that worth? That's like, I think trucks are 50 gold. So, 600 gold. Which, for the reward, is worth it. Let's see. I think it's fine to take this. Should I move here and take that thing? This is something, the stone fire thing. Should I do that extra movement to take that since I'm there? This is something I've been thinking about a lot as of late. It's just like, as the game goes on, every step you take and every move you make it costs you something, and it should be um, the amount that you move to take a step should be more and more value, right? So definitely in the beginning of the game to take one step to pick up that fire, it's like a no-brainer. But at this point, when we're going towards the second fight, is it worth that one step? And then you have to take one step back to get the resources. It was like 4 wood, 2 stone, 750 gold. In the late game marketplaces, there make stone and wood 250 gold. So if you think about that as an exchange rate, which we don't get yet, but just as a way to think about it, if it costs 250 for each of those, then we got about, I think, like 2250 gold there. Essentially, if you converted all the gold, is it worth 2 steps to get 2250 gold? It probably is. That's over 1,000 gold per step. That's probably worth it. But is it worth it if you take 2 steps? Well, now it's like 500 gold a step. Is that worth it? I don't know. I don't know what the line is. Whereas I'm picking up these gold along the path, it costs nothing because I'm picking it up without moving out of place, out of somewhere I'm not going anyway. So what's the line between whether we should go pick something up or not? That's something I'm thinking about. And I think it's good to think about and sort of have a sense of like how far you're willing to go for certain things at certain times. How much gold is worth 1 step, 10 steps? How much stats is worth X steps? I think having some sort of baseline decision about whether you go down certain paths is very good. Because it can be very easy in this game. You go a certain distance and then there's one more thing, 2 steps away. You feel like you just have to take it, and now you're down some rabbit hole where you don't really want to be. But there was just sort of one thing after another that was just saying, hey, pick me up, please. And there has to be like some level of resistance to just like getting the next closest shiny thing. So now what the hell is happening in this game? I sort of went on a mini rant because that has just taken up a lot of my thoughts lately. I'm going for a treasury here. I've thought more about it, and treasuries are good. I don't want to say they're not, but the way I think about it is they take about, with all the resources that they take and such, they take about a week to replenish themselves or to pay for themselves. So what am I doing for the next week? Well, it's less than a week to get to fight 2. So I don't think building a treasury necessarily on week 2, day 6, if the fight is less than a week away. So it feels like I might not be wanting to invest in the long term at this point. But that also depends on how you value resources, because treasury uses 5 of the precious resources each, and costs 5,000 gold, and it gives you 2,000 gold a day. So if those precious resources are like of no value to you, or you have so many that you don't even have to think about it, then thinking about that cost is less. I think for might heroes that aren't buying spells, treasuries are probably make more sense. But as magic users, heroes, we're going to use these resources for mage guilds and buying spells. So using these resources is a lot more costly, and also just as dungeon, a lot of dungeon buildings require all three resources. They're, as far as I know, they're like the most who require that. Without knowing every faction, I think dungeon requires multi-resource buildings the most. So treasuries become even more of a, can I afford this? And we're also building forts, so I mean, if we can afford it, I guess. But ideally, if I'm gonna build a treasury, I want to be building it like right after the first fight ends. Resource depots, on the other hand, I like them a lot because gold, they only cost gold, and they provide resources, which for all the reasons I just mentioned about being a magic user in dungeon, we like those resources. And even if they all give gold or gems, or dungeons, we can exchange those for other precious resource. They give a good exchange rate, especially if we have the desert city. So it's a one-to-one trade. So resource depots I like more than treasuries. I think at the time of this game, that was opposite. Now I'm just going towards my 5th city. Again, I'm going down here to get these trogs. This also has a wood thing, a wood cache that gives you like average of 10 wood or something like that. Is it worth these steps? I don't know, because I've tried taking, that's probably cost me, I don't know, 3 down and 3 up, 6 steps to get some trogs and some wood. I already had 18 wood, and I didn't really need wood. How much value does the wood give me at this point? How much value do trogs give me? Probably, it might be better to use those 6 steps to advance, and try and find more value per step. I don't think it's obvious that, like, me going down and getting those logs and those trogs, getting the logs and trogs, I don't think that that's like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. It's just, I don't think it's obvious that I should definitely be doing that. It's just not clear to me. And probably if I was gonna do that, I probably should be going like left bottom, right bottom. and then right top, like, kill the... I guess I needed to get the XP tome here, so it makes sense to go for that first. But I probably should go that first, go down, and then take the... I guess the order is probably okay. Because of the XP tome. I needed to prioritize going that first. It's probably worth it. Although even going the XP tome there first forces me to take extra steps. And it's gonna give me like 2 or 3 extra battles of extra XP. Is that worth it? For me to go the XP tome first, it probably cost me, I don't know, 4 or 6 steps. Is that worth the 25% XP for the 3 fights that I get the XP in? I don't know. Hard to say. I think it's good to be thinking about this. And I think there are clearly cases where I could look at what I've done and say, wow, I walked way too far for that. So it's something I'm trying to think about in my head. Well, it's even harder when it comes to stats, because it's like, how much is a stat worth in steps? That's very hard to say. Because if you can sometimes walk close to a monastery, you know, say you walk half a day to get to a monastery, that's let's say 100 movement for 8 stats. Let's just say 80 movement for 8 stats. It's 1 stat for every 10 movement. That's very efficient. But what's the average? On average, how much does it cost, steps wise, to get stats? I don't know. But something to consider. I'll say most of these fights now are pretty much... I'm just looking for things that are slow, you know, like most people. And most of these fights are pretty straightforward. I am low on mana, so I probably want to be not using any mana in combats. My avatar is doing work. These things are not even close to threatening me. Now this monastery, this is definitely worth it. Do I do this fight? Oh my god. I was scared of losing stuff here. I didn't have any mana, so I was scared of losing stuff. I should have known though I was about to get more mana. I should definitely have not passed up that monastery. That's definitely too much fear. The monastery and getting 8 stats right there, that would help me so much, and I probably would not lose a lot. I will say those guys can attack even with my avatar right on top of them, so that is something. But I imagine if I did that fight, I would not lose all that much. It's like I'm almost not taking the fight because I don't want to lose anything. See, I feel like I should be liberal with my mana here, but if I just lightning bolt the top one, kill it, and then I summon my avatar, I'm probably going to take no damage here. I mean, this battle is not worthy of a fireball. That cost me minus the 3. Well, it cost me 9 mana, whereas the lightning bolt cost me 3. And a lightning bolt is sufficient. I just like see a clump and I'm like, oh, cool. I want to shoot a fireball. That was my mentality in this game. I'm trying to work on my ways and not be, you know, a mana glutton. That's what I am. I'm just using too much mana here. And then I'm like, where's all my mana go? All the mana should be going towards second wind. I will say, if the fight is really hard, okay, I'll use a fireball. Like if I know that the creeps can actually get to me, then a fireball makes sense. But if a lightning bolt is sufficient, I should be using lightning bolt, not just fireball. Cool. I also just think like, you know, you just want to do the most damage possible, but definitely like in that last fight, a lightning bolt would have been sufficient. And if we're talking about 3 mana for a fight versus 9 mana, that adds up. I have 90 mana pool, and I'm going to be using, let's see, if it's 13 mana per second wind, I'm going to be using 26 mana a day just on second wind. So if I take 3 fights a day, you know, I'm not going to be able to fight for 2 days with fireball. But it's no problem with just with lightning bolt. I can maybe go 3 days of fighting. Whereas with fire, or did I say it? With lightning bolt, it can be 3 days. With fireball, it's more like 1.5 days of mana that I have. Yeah, I mean with regen, if I regen like say 9 a day, that gives me 27 mana. That's like 1 day of second wind. So I use Stone Fangs here. In this case, I think even Fireball might be more damage. I'm not sure. If I Fireball the bottom liches, I think that might actually be more damage even with less targets. I'd have to do the math on that, and it's less mana. So I think probably Fireball the bottom stack here. I do think Fireball is appropriate here, because liches, I mean, they're all ranged, I can't stop them all. But I am just eating through mana, that's for sure. Yeah, see, if I Fireball the bottom stack on the first day, I probably can't ignore it for most of the rest. I did only lose a handful of guys. So I will say maybe though, in this consideration, because I am so close to the city and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get it, I can maybe be a little bit more free with my mana here because I know that I'm going to town anyway, so it's probably not a big deal. Because I'll just town portal to my home base with the Mage Guild, and then I'll town portal wherever I want to go the next day to start. So I'm not sure that that's what I was thinking. If I was thinking that, then I think that's sound. But if I'm not thinking that, if I'm just sort of willy-nilly blowing through my mana because I have it, I think that I should be thinking about it. I didn't see that I took, I must have missed when I took Daylight. Definitely at this time, I would say, and I guess probably still think, Daylight, I definitely want another school of magic. I think that probably, the nice thing is with sorcery, we get the sub skill that gives +1 skill level for any school of magic we learn. So that definitely incentivizes. We do that for primal alone. So I think that incentivizes us to get another school of magic. There's also an expert sub skill that allows you to get basically additional spell power for other schools of magic. +3. It's only +3, which isn't. It's not like game breaking or anything, but incentives are incentives. So it does give us +3 mana for, or +3 spell power for any other school of magic we take, which is, you know, I guess when your stats get up to, your spell power gets up to 30, 50, 70, 100, 200, which is possible. 3 spell power doesn't really wake you up in the morning, but at this stage, it is relevant, I would say. It's like a 15% gain that goes down over time. So, another thing is, because we have thaumaturgy, we kind of want to pick a... This might even be more of a reason to pick a second school of magic, because we can cast 2 spells around. So, ideally, we're going to be fully leveled in whatever school of magic we pick on the other side as our second cast. And I think Holy has, like, just generally some of the best spells, if not the best spells of the game, with like Radiant Armor, Bless. These spells are just, they're percentage based and they're good. They're really effective. They're not like the most brain busting creative spells I've ever seen, but big percentage is good, especially when you cast it on your whole army. So I think Daylight, you just can never be faulted for picking Daylight, basically for any class. I would say any hero, I think it's just like always good, especially Radiant Armor. Just seems busted. But I also have been thinking a lot more, or gaining a lot more liking to arcane magic, specifically because rewind life and it's very good for desert farming with hydras. And dungeon has a huge problem with like, well, you compare it to necro or schism. Um, they have ways of like fighting without losing anything, and they have like built-in ways of that. Dungeon doesn't, and Dungeon loses a lot. The best sort of healing mechanic or sturdy mechanic that Dungeon has is going the hydras that regen themselves. They're very tanky, and getting rewind life. That basically allows you to go into the desert and farm anything without losing anything. So, and obviously, going arcane magic is sort of the easiest way to get rewind life, since it's a level 4 spell, I believe. Obviously, I would think less about it if I got like a tome of arcane magic, or if you get a scroll of rewind life. Dungeons can upgrade it to expert, so that's really awesome. There's the belt that gives access to all tier 4 spells. So those are other ways to get access to, or just learning it from one of the arcane spell places. But arcane magic obviously is like the most reliable way of getting access to rewind life, and I do think for fight 3, having rewind life on hydras and using that to farm is like required until they have like more mechanics to like be able to preserve your army, like to go into a dragon utopia and not lose half your army. For dungeon, really, that's like the best option, I think. I don't know a better option than that. So that's why arcane magic, also black hole, is like probably the best damage spell in the game. It's got a humongous area and it scales very nicely with spell power. So that's another reason to get arcane. I think since we're going spell damage build with Zakron, having the highest damage, highest spell damage spell in the game is a pretty good idea. So arcane has been growing on me lately. I probably prefer it over holy, but holy's obviously good too. In last place, I would put Nightshade, particularly against Temple. One, Nightshade does a lot of DOTs, a lot of overtime effects, and Temple naturally has ways to get rid of that. They're gonna get the holy spell. I forget what it is off the top of my head, but it cleanses debuffs on your entire team based off of duration. I guess if you have a higher spell power, then probably there are cases where they can't even cleanse what you have. But also, Temple has the ability to actually just purge on a single target. some DOT, which is especially useful in like the first, definitely the first fight, but I think it probably gets less useful over time in each fight. But it is still something that basically Nightshade sort of relies on overtime effects, and that counters it. So I just think it makes Nightshade a little less attractive versus Temple. That being said, Twilight against Temple that's going ranged is pretty good. So that's also something to be considered. But since the reason we play Zakron is to get a lot of damage, that's the reason to play him, to do big damage. I don't know that Nightshade is necessarily in line with that sort of spirit. They do also have summon Star Children, which maybe is the best summon. So that is also something you consider. So I also would not be sad about getting Nightshade. That's probably the one personally that I want the least. Oh, this is the purple guy, so the Stinger. So definitely want to kill him. You can see I hid my Hydra, not that it matters. So we have our 5th city, our 5th city. So we met that goal. It's coming soon up to the fight. So now I'm just trying to grab easy stuff. I don't know that I'm really fighting in the correct area. I think maybe the reason I'm here is because I'm trying to rally my troops. It's better though, like at this point, to be fighting in the higher level biomes. Just get better stuff. Oh, I wanted to come down here and get the Excalibur. That's why I'm coming down here. So I guess to get a legendary item, although I don't know how good it is in this particular case. I mean, it's obviously best against tier 7 units. These guys I don't forget it as much anymore, but I should not be fireballing them when they have a huge stack like this. I need to get them lower first before I try to kill them. Ideally, you kill them when they have 1 in their group, not when they have 9 in their group. I should just be trying to weaken probably Stone Fangs makes more sense here. Although I'm not sure. Stone Fangs might be killing them all anyways too. I also think my avatar placement here was not good. I should be placing it down at the bottom right so that when they attack me, they're further away. Any guys that peel off. I don't know why I went for Heroic Strike on the furthest one away. That doesn't make much sense to me. I lost all my trogs. I probably did not need to lose. Actually, I'm sure I did not need to lose that many trogs. 50 trogs on that fight. It's pretty costly. Especially with the fight coming up tomorrow. 50 trogs is quite a bit. It's still worth it, obviously. It's just unnecessary. I don't know if I needed to lose any. But to be fair, you know, this is time pressure. So I'm just doing stuff. But I think that was like definitely fireballing the guys that instantly come back and allowing them to respawn 9 instead of 1 is a big difference. I don't know what other options I have. I think maybe stone spikes if it killed less than 9. Because stone spikes typically does less damage than fireball. Fireball scales more with... Actually, I'm not sure that's even true. I think they both have 10 spell. They both get 10 damage per spell power. So I'm not sure they even scale differently. So I might not have had many options there. But I feel like losing 50 there, I feel like I definitely could have played that different. Cave dragons are just kind of a pain. Kind of like the last thing I want to fight. They have spell immunity. Getting radiant armor here is very nice. That's a huge pickup. Now I don't have to worry about getting it in the magic school. Don't have to buy it, and I already have daylight magic, so it's going to be pretty well upgraded. I don't know that it's rank 4 here, but it's at least 3, I would say. I'm also not sure off the top of my head whether you have to be level rank 4 to get the all cast or rank 3, I'm not sure. Now I would say it's probably definitely... I also summoned Star Child. So, although I don't have Nightshade magic, so that doesn't actually matter. It said I lose 2 Hydras here. That's it. Are these the stingers? Yes. That's like the only way I lose. I think in this case, probably appropriate to use massive damage. Although my Hydras are pretty well hidden. I guess in that case my Minotaurs are what are exposed. It's probably worth it to use the mana to preserve them, I'm not sure though. Probably is. Yeah, I think the reason I was fighting near my base here was because I'm like rallying troops at the same time. So I'm just clearing close to the base, which I think is fine. I think one of the safe things to do is, since you have 4 days in the 3rd week basically to gather troops, take 1 day each of the week to sort of rally from one of the towns. Obviously it's possible to optimize so that you don't have to take 4 days to get 4 cities, but I think that's just sort of like a good baseline to sort of say, okay, I'm going to go to each city 1 day of the week to sort of get the troops. Because one of the easiest ways to lose a fight is to not have all your troops. That's just like You spend all this time doing all this stuff, and then you bring half your army, and you just lose because of that. So I think just a really safe way, spend one day at each town, get the troops, go to the next one. I'm just going around trying to make the best path that I possibly can around each city, sort of at this point in time in the game. That sort of is also a reason to not necessarily clear the entire first biome and then leave. It's okay to leave stuff behind because, you know, as you pick up troops for each fight, you're going to be coming back, and so you can clear something different each time. We are level 21 at this point, so we met the level 20 goal. Not sure if I have chain lightning. I think I'm getting expert summon Star Child, which will be very nice. I'm actually upgrading Read Minds here, because I don't actually know what spell that is. I think it's a different spell than it actually is. I can't remember what I thought it was, but definitely you don't you don't want to upgrade Read Minds right before combat. It's of no relevance. You probably don't use the spell nearly ever. So I would say my army for this level is okay. The 24 Medusas is good. I could have more, for sure I could have more Minotaurs. Like 40 is probably good. I'm probably also short on some Hydras. My Trogs are definitely low at 86. That's not that many. But I would say his army is comparable, probably. He's a better fighter. His stats are 10-15 for fighting. What I care about most in these situations is that my defense matches their attack. That's sort of the main thing I'm looking at. I know that my attack is always going to be weak because it's my lowest growing stat, and so don't really focus on attack. Like, that's not where our damage comes from. Our damage comes from our spells. First thing we're gonna do is Stone Fangs here. It looks like he has decent resistance, because I did not kill all that much. But we added Radiant Armor, so we're buying ourselves time. So, one thing I will say about my setup that I would change is I've moved more towards having one range in the top and one range more like he has. I actually don't know that it's very good for him, but it is good for me. I guess it's good for him. The reason is because he wants to attack me. Right? He's the one who needs to come at me and kill me with his troops. So by putting him in each corner, we force him to take up the most space. I think kind of in the habit, obviously, of trying to protect people. But another thing to do here is instead of like trying to engage him, like with my Hydras or my Frogs, I just want to run past him and go right for his range. Let him kill my range, and I will go for his ranged, and that's fine. Um, because now he has to travel back all the way across the map again with his melee to come kill me. Whereas if I meet him here, he really only has to travel once, and I'm sort of like doing him a favor by allowing him to make efficient movements. I think the Caven, even though he can heroic strike himself out, it forces him to use a heroic strike on a rock, which doesn't feel good. And if he can't heroic strike a rock, he has to use an entire attack with his swordsman. So I think that spell is very good here. So he does heroic strike, which the spell does a decent amount of damage, and so it also absorbs a heroic strike, which is pretty good. Kind of a nice additional benefit. That's probably the lowest hit he could do. I guess he could have attacked with his 7 guys to kill it. Now he's just barreling in. If I had just walked past with my Hydras, he would be killing maybe my Medusa instead. But my Hydras would be full life, or he would have to backtrack and go for my Hydras. Now he's getting the benefit of like using a counter attack from his Griffins, and then his guard captains get to attack my Hydras. I'm just not taking up space like I need to. I'm sort of allowing him to move efficiently by not using my movement. I should just run past him and kill his archers. And then when I kill his archers, I can move down to the bottom left corner, kill his range, and so that'll be about the time. I should have summoned these Star Children like a lot earlier. Also, I did not know what they... I actually did not know what they did, or I was not very well versed in them. I did not realize they were ranged, so I summoned right next to him. I should not do that though. But regardless, 73 Star Children is pretty good. I should have probably done that on my very first cast too. It's the strongest. It's a tier 4 versus my tier 3 Stone Fangs. And I just literally upgraded the scroll. So I should have casted it first, started the cooldown on it, and forced him to deal with it. Instead, I just sort of like cast it over right next to the Ostinger, total noob spellcaster here. So definitely after this game, I remember thinking, man, I have no idea what spells do. Besides Primal, those are like the only spells I really knew, so I definitely spent some time learning the spells a lot more. And summons are very strong. The Star Child and the Primal Remnant are very strong. Naturally, they're tier 4 and 5. So I should have used that instead of my tier 3 spell to start. But that was a comfortability thing. Oh, the spatial snare, I probably could have used it earlier. Since I was in this little box, one way I could have used that to my advantage was actually use spatial snare. And force the guard captain to walk through it. Or at least make it so that like one of them had to walk through it. I did not use the fact that I was in a little bunched up ball to my advantage at all. It's just like a comfortability from fighting AI, but it's just not the same kind of fight against a person. I feel like I should probably just rip the chain lightning here. Kill my trogs. Because I'm not going to get a usage of this chain lightning, and that's the best spell I have. It just does so much more damage than the lightning bolt. I'm going to kill 26 trogs, but I'm going to probably... I mean, I don't know what the spell difference is. And the math of it off the top of my head. That's when I realized that Star Child has an AoE. I did not know that. So I killed my... I could have just killed him with Chain Lightning. But instead I killed him for free with my Star Child. Total noob. But this is why we watch. So all my guys are dead, but if I hold on with my summon, it ends up being a draw. Okay. Can I get away? I basically am just trying to get away from this guard captain now. Do I attack here? I should not attack, I don't think. I think I should just run and let my spells do the work. Yeah, I mean, I should have done Chain Lightning there. I don't know why I didn't. If I had done Chain Lightning... this was, I guess, before I really knew... I won anyway. Alright, stayed alive anyway. So neither one of us gets a point for that. Starting into fight 3, I want to start with a little anecdote about... At the time, I was feeling, let's say, overwhelmed, I would say. This was the first time that I was going into fight 3 in a multiplayer. I obviously have played fight 3 in single player, just testing out with AI and stuff. But this was the first time actually doing it in multiplayer, so I did not really have much of a plan. I was just kind of like trying to stay afloat and just sort of reacting. Not much of a plan going on here, but what I would say after the fact is I think the guy I'm playing is 1400, so I'm kind of gauging, I'm kind of going based off of that about what I think I would need to have done to sort of maintain the same power level as him. What I'll use going forward, sort of as like my starting blueprint. So I think I should at least Well, first I want to get as much econ going in my other cities. Like the third palace, the resource depots, and the treasuries. I would want to get those all up as quickly as possible. And then in my fourth and fifth city, I would want to have at least my my third level. I'm blanking on what they're called, and my minotaurs, at least those in my fourth and fifth city, so that I can bring those along. I'll have like 2 extra weeks worth of these units, and I would also want to at least have upgraded hydras, which I already have, but it would also be nice to have upgraded minotaurs and trogs. I think those are, if I had to pick 3 upgrades, those are the ones I want. I think the upgraded minotaurs just are very strong, especially when they have the parry ability, and also their line attack can be pretty devastating. And I think trogs, just having upgraded trogs, it's like the most bang for your buck. So these are sort of the 3 I would want to maintain, or make sure I get at sort of a minimum. I also want to get the desert city, at least before the end of the fight, and clear out most of the first desert. There's also, the second desert, the deep desert. I don't know that a person at 1500 even needs to start the deep desert and still win most of their games. So I'm saying just get the first desert city and clear that. If you just clear out that area, you're probably ahead of most people. At least right now. I want to get at least level 30 and get as many of the stats like the monasteries, these kinds of things, to get our stats as high as possible. I think if you have like around 20 all stats, that's probably, even 15 is probably passable. So you can get much higher than that, but I think 15, 20 is sort of like, you'll probably win most games at this level if you can get that. And I also want to get, for sure, Primal Remnant spell, level 5. Tier 5 Primal spell. I think as far as Primal, that's probably the best use of spell power that you can have. Unfortunately, it doesn't really play with sorcery all that well, since that's a damage talent skill. But it's just, I think that's just the best spell that Primal has, at least for mages. Unfortunately, Armageddon, it's just too devastating. I don't know that it's designed all that well right now. I think you're killing most of your army, unless you have black dragons, and then, it's the only thing that lives. Which maybe at this level might be okay. But it's just much more straightforward to just summon a big stack of Primal Remnants and start hitting stuff. That's just way more easy to execute and obviously good. So those are sort of my goals, but they're made after the fact. In this game, I was just kind of like, again, just trying to keep my head above water. So, let's see how that goes for us. You can see I'm already not sure what I'm gonna do. What am I even trying to do here? I think next time I make one of these, I'm going to make sure I also record what I was thinking. Because I don't know what I'm thinking exactly here. I didn't record any of my thoughts, so I think that would be helpful. I like giving my take after the fact. I think that's useful, but I think it's also useful for me to know what I was thinking at the time as well. So I'm gonna get that for next time. But I guess I'm going for the desert now. Maybe. Golden Goose Egg, I still don't know exactly what that does. I've never upgraded enough and got a reward. Let me know if you know what it does. I still have Read Minds Expert in my item slot, not knowing what it did, and not knowing that it's not doing anything for me. One thing I will say is I noticed earlier I had and this is sort of what I was saying earlier, I have rewind life already, so I could just go into the desert with these 10 hydras and rewind life, and I could basically fight almost anything with few exceptions, and basically just use rewind life to heal myself up. By doing what I'm doing here now, I'm just gonna keep bleeding guys. My lower tier units, they're just gonna get picked off little by little. Whereas if I do it with just my hydras, also the fights are just easier to manage. Right, I'm only using one guy, having to cycle through these, all these different stacks. Although you can see that if I just cast one spell and then summon Avatar, I can auto finish the battle, so that makes it pretty quick. But still, I don't need all these extra units here at this time. Most of them are not even doing anything. So like my Trog, the only thing I can even slightly justify, I think here, is my Medusa. Because I think Medusas are very strong. They help reduce the amount of time that it takes to clear this stuff. But I think the Dancers, the Minotaur, the Trogs, the Infiltrators, none of those really have to be here. They're just sort of making me take longer. You can also see I'm already at timer of 2 seconds. So I said I'm trying to keep my head above water, but I'm struggling. This is a fight where I would be surprised if I didn't lose something. If I only had my hydras, I know I would lose nothing. But yeah, I'm gonna lose 9 infiltrators, 11 infiltrators, and 1 Trog, which isn't a big. That's not gonna change the game, but you do that enough times, and you know, it starts adding up. It could make the difference. We won the first fight with 5 Minotaurs, right? Which is not a lot. It could have easily been less, 5 Minotaurs less if we lose. Or tie because we have our... This is a fight where I can just tell I'm going to lose stuff because there's just too much going on. If I had just my Hydras here, stuck them up in the top left corner, these things are never going to kill me. And if they kill, you know, any number of my guys, then any number of my Hydras, then I can just rewind. See, just, you know, losing a little here, a little there. 16 Trogs, 1 Minotaur. Unnecessary. Very unnecessary. I think now's the time, just going around, clear the desert out. This should all be pretty simple for what I have. You can see I'm micromanaging my small guys. This is gonna be hard for all my little guys to stay alive. Because they're just gonna get shots off. I can't prevent them all from shooting. And they're gonna go for the little guys, I'm sure. My Trogs, my infiltrators, I don't need to lose anything here. I guess it's not gonna be that bad. I lost 1 Trog, that's not bad. But still, again, I didn't need to lose 1. Well, that's not going to change the game. These surrounded ones are always way harder when I have all these groups. Or way more prone to losing guys. But I just have so much initiative here, I don't know if they're even going to get shot to come after me. But these Sentinels, I think they're called. Oh, yeah, they didn't get a turn anyways. Excalibur's pretty good there. I actually forgot I had that in the game. Reminded myself just now. The other thing is, because I'm like trying to protect all my little guys, I'm using really big spells right off the bat so that basically I don't lose all these guys. I could just cast Optical Illusion on my Hydras, reduce the damage of the angels, cast maybe Carapace. Then I'm not really worried about how much damage. Again, any damage that I take, I can turn back with Rewind Life. So it's not a big deal. Whereas I use a big Chain Lightning. The other thing is, if I want to cast Rewind Life, I can just wait a few turns and build up the temporary mana to cast it for free, essentially. Whereas if I burst off right off the bat with Chain Lightning, I can't recover that mana. And you can see that my mana that I have is like actually relevant, mostly because I want to keep using Second Wind and Dimension Door. I don't know why I didn't fight that guy. That's like free XP. I guess because I didn't want the item, I didn't fight the guy. Got level 5 Mage Guild, so one of the goals are complete. I finally have some time to actually build stuff. I have all this money though, and I don't have any wood and ore. Finally getting some wood and ore to get these buildings going. Pretty late on these econ buildings. Definitely late on these growth laws. Usually you should get those by the end of week. Well, I usually get those by the end of week 3 now. At least like the Hydra one. Or at the end of week 2, I mean. So getting those now is kind of slower in comparison, that's for sure. $17. What was that? 23 trogs. 23 trogs lost for no reason again. I'm just trying to... I'm also sort of making a mental note now of like how many guys I was losing that I didn't need to lose. And we're up to like 50 trogs. 20 infiltrators and a few minotaurs. That stuff all adds up. We'll see what the total is at the end. I'm not actually totaling, I'm totaling mentally. Okay, I actually use chain lightning here. Or the lightning bolt. There we go, I only used 3 mana there. Nice. Actually got a good fight there. I don't know if I even needed the lightning bolt there. But I don't mind spending the 3 mana, that's not that much. Is the initiative of the +1 from Triumvirate and the -1 from the Law is helping a lot here. So letting my Medusas go for, oh yeah, and also the Medusa Law for initiative. It's doing a lot there. So, like I said, I think you can maybe bring the Medusas for this farming trip. I do think it makes it a little bit harder. -13 trucks. I do think you now have something that you have to babysit with the Medusa. They do add attack, or they make things die faster. For sure, and you have a little bit more power, so you can rely less on mana. But I think probably it's still better just to bring the Hydras and let the fights take a little bit longer. That's probably the more safe way, the way that you're gonna lose less, but it's also, I guess, gonna be more more tedious. It's gonna be more time consuming. It's also gonna be like, it's not really what you want for like a dragon utopia, right? Because now you have two targets you gotta use rewind life on. Getting my remnant here, gotta trade for it. I didn't trade for it. I guess I ended my turn. I'll start skipping through some of these fights. They're kind of the same formula over repeated. That's why it's good to have like just a real simple Hydra, one unit to manage. Because, you know, this is pretty much all spells happening here. Sometimes cast lightning bolt or stone spikes and then avatar, and that's about it. So all these other guys are just waiting. Another case of way too many things on the battlefield that lost 4 dancers and 1 minotaur. I should dimension door to these dogs probably. I'm just blowing through my mana. I have no mana left, so now I have to get mana. I'm using way too much. Can't sustain with this kind of mana usage. And I cannot protect all these guys. So just losing guys here, bleeding some more guys off. Let's see how much we actually lost. 20 trucks and a minotaur. I had no mana because I just used it all. Really bad because I'm also in the middle of the desert. I went back to town because I had no mana. There was still a lot of juicy stuff to get there too. So just too much mana usage there. For using my mana as a huge crutch there. When I don't really need to. I upgraded my Medusas there. Or got the upgrade of Medusa's building, which, I mean, I would say if you want to go in, when you go into fight 3, you do want every single upgrade, ideally. But I would also say, if I only had to pick, I would not have upgraded Medusas before Minotaurs anymore. I think the Minotaurs are just, granted I would have a lot more Minotaurs than I have right now, and so I guess maybe it makes sense here to upgrade Medusas since I do have 24 of them and I have 24 Minotaurs, the same amount. But now I usually have a lot more Minotaurs because I think they're one of the better units to go for as a magic user, because really what you want is magic, is you want meat. You want tanky units that are going to buy you time to cast spells. Minotaurs are better at that than Medusas. Medusas are also attack based, and as said before, attack is our weakest stat. So going for Minotaurs doesn't really make much sense. I think I kill... Yeah, I think I kill a bunch of Minotaurs here. I remember there was one fight where I kill a bunch of Minotaurs. Never mind, I think it might be in the deep desert. I just remember it was traumatic for me, so it's coming. I killed like some... Wait, I think I killed all of them, but just a little foreshadowing of what's to come. So we definitely are gonna get, want to get the white tree. Ideally, it's obviously best to get that in week 4, because they're gonna get the most out of it. But it's really no different for us to get it from week 2 or week 3, because, or fight 2 or fight 3, because I basically haven't built any new dwellings in my cities, so it doesn't really make a difference here. But doing it in fight 3 gives you the most time to build up your dwellings, build up your forts, so you get the maximum amount of army that you can. So I am using remnants here. I think it's probably... I'm just thinking, if I had only my Hydras, would I want to trust that they could live through this? Probably they could. Especially if I put thick hide on them and they take less melee damage, then probably they could withstand this entire group, and I could save some mana here. Especially if I hide in this little corner right here next to my 1-stack dancer. There's only 2 tiles that I can be attacked from, so I stick my Hydra in that little corner. Oh, there we go. Just killed all my Minotaurs. You can see I am stunned. I'm just like, oh my god. That's funny. I'll tell you, when that happened, I just like... all the blood drained out of my... 24 Minotaurs. So now I basically lost my entire Minotaur stack, because I brought them along, and most of the deaths were friendly fire. So, pretty awful. I guess, so the count is probably like, you know, 10 dancers, 80 to 100 trogs now. I don't remember exactly how many, because I don't have any trogs left. I only have... And I lost all my Minotaurs, which is like 30 of them. So... And I lost all my Infiltrators. So, that's quite a bit. That's actually... the Star Children, as far as like efficiency and damage, when they're clumped up like that, is probably pretty good. It's probably better to do that than the Remnants for these kind of fights. I think, you know, like in a combat against another person, you want to pull out every summon you can, and I think the Primal Remnants are very strong. But for these, for this farming, it probably makes more sense. You probably get more damage from the Star Children, and they cost less mana, I'm assuming, since they're tier 4. I'm not 100% sure. 20 mana. I'm now down to 18. I'm gonna lose all my dancers, it looks like. Eventually. Yeah. The Star Children do work, though. Looks like some more dancers are about to die. Oh, they're actually going for the Star Children. I'm not I don't quite understand why. I would assume they'd go for the dancers there. Maybe because they're ranged, so maybe Star Children even have kind of a taunt because they're ranged. Which I didn't really notice before, so maybe that's something else to figure out. If enemy AI prefers the Star Children because they're ranged. And I'm just skipping all of that because I have no mana. I got the free trading thing for 6 law points. I thought more about this, and I think probably that one is not that good to get. It's 6 points when you have all 6 cities. You're basically one marketplace away from getting the same thing you get from that law. So you do lose something. You lose money or resources when you buy from the marketplace, but you can still trade like special resource for special resource 1-to-1. You can also trade wood to ore 1-to-1. So it's only really in a case where you like need to buy a special resource with gold or maybe wood, something like that. If you do that, then there is a markup there. But if you can avoid doing that, which I think for the most part can be avoided, then getting that sort of last marketplace is not like a huge deal. So I think getting that for 6 law points, I don't think it makes sense. I think it's not worth the cost. I think I now would rather take the 10 movement points for 5 law points. I think that's better. And I don't know that that one's even all that great. 10 movement points for 5 laws is pretty expensive too, I think. I think definitely like the fighting styles you probably want to get that for every race or every tier of unit, at least one level. But I think now that we're getting higher into the laws, you also want to get, I would say, the growth for the dwellings. That's also important. But I would definitely not put the 6 law points for the last tick of marketplaces. I just don't think it's that important. I think that's one of the last ones I would get. Haven't lost anything in a while, so. But, except we use too much mana still. Makes sense to use mana here, I would think. Against this guy. I don't remember exactly what happened here. Does feel like he's dying kind of slow here. I needed to summon after he moved so that I actually got a ranged shot with my star children. I let him go right on top of him. The Naira's Kiss, that seems pretty good. I am just burning through mana though. Am I gonna cast another spell here to look at how much these spells cost? I don't know if you can guillotine these guys. That's what I should probably do. Using 40 mana here. Ouch. Just lost 10 Medusas. 6 more. 16 Medusa. Ugh. That is awful. That was a good example of why you should not bring Medusa. Why just stick with the Hydras. I might lose some Hydras there. Against this guy, maybe. But one nice thing is if you just have your Hydras against this guy, you can use Carapace. And it's a one-on-one battle. Carapace is pretty good there. Can't Carapace your entire army, so you don't know. I'm like, I want to lose more guys, please. I need more guys to feed. No, I don't think I'm going back to the desert now. I have a ton of money that I'm not really using. I could be like building stuff up in my towns, but again, I'm just overwhelmed. I really want that XP tome. I don't know how much that matters, since I'm level 20 something. At this point, like, most of the levels are not going to come from XP. They're going to come from like trees, the gymnasiums, this kind of thing. So the XP tome is like not that much value. It's kind of it's kind of gross to me, you know, watching back this, how much mana I use. But that's one of the reasons. I guess I have this mana well here, so that's good. Good for me. Of course I knew that. That's why I was just burning through all my mana. Oh, it ran out of time there. I think I still had second wind and dimension door, but I'm running out of time. I'm going for this Utopia, but I don't know that it's going to be very fun for me. I didn't upgrade my Hydras. I think because I went to my second city, I guess. I didn't have an upgrade there. But that means I probably shouldn't have gathered up the new Hydras again. Oh, I do take this fight. Oh, this is going to be gross. Yeah. Let's go quickly through this so that I am curious what the damage was. Let's see, 2 Hydras, 22 Dancers, 66 Trogs. Yeah, that's not good. Totally unnecessary. Should have only used my Hydras for that. You can tell I don't know exactly what items are, because I'm trying to use a main hand item in my item slot. Could you, I don't know that I knew you could, it looked like you can upgrade Excalibur twice. I don't know exactly how that item works. I don't know why I wanted to upgrade Excalibur though, because I have not seen this guy. Chain lightning is just so unnecessary here. I mean, my avatar is just destroying them. But I guess I'm just trying to go through the fights quickly. Am I gonna do this other Dragon Utopia and lose even more guys? How many Medusa have I lost? Like 30 Medusa or something like that. $25, $30. 150 Trogs or something. That is a lot. 40 Minotaurs. These are big numbers. I mean, that's like, I don't know, a third of my army that I have right now. My army could be like 30-40% bigger. See, all I need is this avatar. That's all I need. He is just, especially when you get like this kind of spell power, 43 spell power, the avatar is going to do a lot of work. Let him be the man. Looking around for more items to get. I think I have, actually, I don't know if I'm even building in my 3rd and 4th city. Did I buy a cave palace? No. I guess, oh, I ran out of time. I did get all my upgrades here. Although I don't have the amphitheater. I am getting all my upgrades though. I'm out of dust though. And I don't know if I realized at this point, like, you can get a lot of dust from disenchanting artifacts. So I vaguely remember thinking, how the hell am I supposed to get dust? But that's where a lot of it comes from. My level is decent. I would say, all in all, I feel pretty, for the most part, I would say that I did okay for this being my first time. It was obviously a lot for me. I did lose a lot of troops just doing these farming fights, which I didn't really have a plan for even before the game started, so I wasn't really aware of this concept of like trying to farm with something that isn't going to die, because it turns out, you know, losing a third of your army size just farming is not necessary. Pretty easy fight. Mostly just farming stuff. There's 6 trogs. Just trying to collect stats. I don't know that I really have. See, I'm not even looking for units in my bases because I just never really, before this point, I never really even looked in these cities for units. They really, I mean, you can get dwellings in your I keep saying 3rd and 4th, but really it's 4th and 5th. But it's your 3rd and 4th city that you actually build dwellings in. I had not really done that before this point, so I just wasn't used to even trying to do that. But I could be collecting units. Every time I come to these new places, I should be picking up more units. This is an easy fight. Blowing through mana with stone spikes. Unnecessary, didn't lose anything. Did I lose anything here? No. More stats. Don't know why I cast that. I think I was trying to cast Town Portal or something. Easy fight. Nothing lost. This looks like a big one. This one looks like I'm gonna lose some stuff. Oh wow. That was a big hit. Might not lose much though. This 39 stack. It's 51 stack. I lost all my trucks. So what, I lost like... oh wait, what was that? $50 more trogs, 8 dancers, and 1 minnow. So that's like 200 trogs now. $30 dancers or something. 1 minnow is nothing compared to what I've already lost. So that should feel like an accomplishment. Artifact merchants are something I don't use very much. Definitely something I should use more. It's just one of those things like how much capacity do I have to actually do stuff? I did not upgrade that building. So we're going into this fight. We could have, what, like 20 or 30 more Medusa. Like 30 or 40 more Minotaurs. 200 Wartrogs. So let's just at least keep that in mind. I can't remember exactly how close this is. Let's see here. I also put all my guys clumped up still. Should not be doing this. So he has 400. Guys, I can have basically the same amount of trogs. His 32 attack to my 30 defense. I'm perfectly happy with that. I do less damage attacking, but again, that's not a big deal. I have 40 spell power compared to his 7. So I actually think I prefer my stats overall, especially because my defense matches his attack. So, and 40 versus 7 spell power is preferred. I don't think the attack difference is that big of a deal. I mean, 21 attack to his 43 defense. I will hit weak, but That's okay. That's not. I'm just trying to survive. I do think he has magic resist, and so I think there are um, like magic resist items that are lower magic resist and things like this. I summoned Remnant first and Star Children. So I think what I should have done here in retrospect is I'm okay with summoning the Primal Remnant first, but then I should immediately do Radiant Armor. Because that gives it to my Remnant, that gives it to all my units. I really shouldn't be taking hits without armor. Without Radiant Armor. So any hit I take, you know, I just lost 80 of my remnants. It could be 40 instead that I lost. And that would buy me one extra turn of them being alive, I guess. Granted, I do get a hit of 42. That was the sort of extra thing I got. I got 42 extra Ossingers dead. Magic suppression, interesting. I don't know exactly what that is. I think that's maybe a sub skill, but it looks pretty strong. I can't really tell you exactly what that does. Also, I'm not sure if I should be... Should I be doing my summon first, or should I be trying to do damage on the first turn? That's also a question. Because those Ossingers, they took down... I mean, they took down 15, 18. I guess that would not be as big of a deal if I had, like, if I started with 50 of them instead of 24, which I think I could have had around 50. Also, with this guy coming in, this Griffin, if I had, say, 90 or 100 Minotaurs, this Griffin would be toast. Right? That's a... Fireball, not a big deal. Fireball is not actually... I mean, he has, like, no spell power anyway. He killed one Hydra, so he didn't do that much. He did kill, you know, like 6 of my Medusa. Not a big deal. I should be trying to use Chain Lightning here. I use Naira's Kiss, but I think he just purges it. So if I'm going to use Naira's Kiss, I should use it on the Angels since they go first. Although I think it's when they use an action that actually does something. So I think when Naira's Kiss, it can be purged before it actually does any damage. So I think it's not good against Temple if I understand it right. His stats are going up because of these deaths. I feel like I just didn't, for one, I just didn't have enough meat. I also think these trucks should be they should be the other trucks so that I get the damage debuff. I think these toxic ones are, they're okay for like, the one good thing about these ones is they have more damage. They have one more max damage, so, if you can proc their defensive blood, they do more damage, but I think the spear debuff from the other one is more reliable. You control it better. If they avoid attacking you, you can't get the plus 25% bonus. So, especially in fights against other people, I think the other trogs is preferred, but I wasn't really sure at the time which one's better. I would say at this point, it's not looking good though. He still has a lot of stuff. There's 200. My guys are just not holding up very well. I just lost 200 trogs in one hit. I think I still have not cast Radiant Armor either, which is a huge mistake. I should have casted that on the first turn. I mean, it basically almost doubles the amount of time I can last. Obviously not 100 fully that much, but 40% is a lot of reduction. For some reason I feel like that was not good. Yeah, it takes 9 to kill 3. So if I had 100 of these Minotaurs, if I had swung on this Griffin, I would have killed 30. That would have been nice. Then this guy would not be nearly as devastating. And if I had the other Trogs, I guess now he actually has the damage debuff. But if I did that right away, it would be helpful. I still have not done anything to deal with this. I'm barely... Oh, that's bad for us. Ouch. This one looks pretty much over. I don't think that there's any coming back from this. All we really killed were the Ostigers. We killed half the Angels. Barely touched the... whatever these guys are. Spellweavers or something. As you can see, I know a lot about Temple. Barely touched the Griffins. Yeah. I don't think I casted Radiant Armor. And that's like the single biggest mistake. At least we got Armageddon off. Moral victory. So the game was 1-1 since we drew on the second one. But somehow I got the victory. So I don't know why that is, because I played another game later where it was 1-1, and we both lost the game. So I'm not quite sure how that works. Maybe you know, maybe if you know, you could comment down below. My initial theory was maybe because I was higher level and it was tied. Maybe that's how it's decided, whoever has the higher level hero. But that doesn't explain why I lost the other game. So, I'm not really sure how the tie thing works. But if you know the rules specifically, please let us all know. Because I even asked on Discord, the Unfrozen Discord, and I didn't get an answer. So, it's still a mystery to me. But it did give us a win, even though it doesn't really feel like a win to me it feels like a draw, 1-1 with a draw match. But you know, if you like feeling like you won, then seeing this victory screen, I guess is good. But the most important thing was, I think the game was really close. I think definitely in the second fight, I could have, that one to me felt closer, being able to win, because obviously we drew. I did cast Radiant Armor in that one, so maybe that's why it was a lot closer. I didn't cast it in the third one, so I do think this game was within the grasp of winning. Just I made a lot of noob mistakes. So that's all part of the learning process. If you have any comments about, you know, any part of the game, uh, mistakes that I didn't talk about, or ideas that you have of your own, just put them down below. This is all about interaction and discussion. That's the reason I'm making these videos, to start a conversation. So all is welcome.